just.
You said you're ready. I'm not holding anymore.
No, I'm ready.
And I have already begun to struck the record button. So without further ado, yeah, oh, ladies and gentlemen, episode 31 of the Prime Podcast. I am your host, Coast. That is your other host, Fats the Assassin. Say what's up.
Yo, what's going on, people? We're back.
Yo ho ho,
Live and direct.
Monkey.
Yeah.
We're here, and we're queer. How are you?
Yeah, not negative on that, but
Oh,
we're in
I'm
the
sorry.
building. We're in the building, and
We're
What's
in
going
the
on?
buildings.
what's going on there, buddy?
Oh, you know me. I'm just chilling, you know how I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, as we speak, episode 30 is rendering and should be available for your listening pleasures. Way before this comes out.
Does it seem like 30 episodes? Does it seem like that?
I mean, we've been taking all kinds of breaks and pauses now
Right.
toward the end, so
Right.
yes, but we were hitting a stride, and we would have been up to 60 by now if not for Fats's nap time and work schedule. You know, he's very tired.
Well,
very tired.
You know, we also could have been up to 60 had my very lucrative and rich partner over there not wanted to go and second honeymoon out in Montauk. And
I have no money. I
having
am poor.
$100 steaks and things are like, you know.
I
Why
am
don't you tell the
destitute.
people? Why don't you tell the people how much of a very luxury time you spent out in Montauk with
It
your
wasn't
very
luxury.
lovely wife?
It's like the hotel we stayed at was sort of a shithole. I'm going to be honest with you, but
And what
you
made
know.
it? Wait, what made it that?
It's like it's on the beach. It's nice to be on the beach.
First of all, if it's on the beach, right? You cannot call it that if it's on the beach.
You absolutely could call it that, and I'll explain.
Okay.
It's on the beach, but it smells like dirty air conditioning filters. The inside, the mattresses are bowed in the middle because they've been fucked on so many times.
Right.
The carpet is shitty, smelly. The bathroom looks like someone diarrhea shit all over it. The shower looks like someone diarrhea shit all over it. All of the little utensils and things they provide look like they've been used 1 billion times.
Right.
The lighting was bad.
Right.
The parking situation was not the greatest. The only thing the place.
Wait, stop at parking. How was parking not the greatest? They didn't have a parking lot?
Just because they did, but I had to walk a little further than my fat ass likes to. Except when we first got there, we parked in the front, and then I had to walk up this fucking 2-story staircase to the top with all my my bag and my stuff. Like, not that it was like, I just don't like walking too far with things,
Right.
But then after we realized where the room was, we found there's a second parking on the side, which was better.
Okay.
So, and the woman when we got there was rude. I came in, I was like, yeah, I made a reservation for a room. And she's like, when did you book it? I'm like, well, on the computer. When did you book it? I'm like, I don't know. When did you book it? I don't know. Like a couple fucking, she's like, did you book it today? I'm like, no, I booked it a few weeks ago.
Right.
She's like, well, okay then. And then she just handed me the keys and we walked off. It's like you could have fucking stopped all of that by saying, did you book it today or did you book it a few weeks ago or anything but today? Did you book it today?
From that exchange, it sounds like she wanted to prove that you were somewhat of a dunce cap and she was smarter than you.
Yeah, for what though? I mean, I don't understand. Like, just ask me, did you book it today? It should be the first question.
Right.
If you want to know if I booked it today.
Right.
So then we got the keys. We went up there to the room there. And, like I said, the first impression was just a seedy shithole hotel on the beach. And it's moist. I understand the stinky smell of it, that, the water is It's 12 feet away, and you get this breeze all day that's very moist, and everything probably
And
gets a little.
filled with salt. You know what I mean? So you get that dankiness going on.
Yeah, so that was it. I mean, you know what it was? The last time we went to Montauk last year, we were in like a fucking. It was like a room. It was like an apartment more than a room. Like it had a big bottom, and then it had a top, and then it had like a loft space. Like it was really nice, and it didn't smell, and it was nicer. But it wasn't in Montauk. It was in Amagansett, which is like 10 minutes down the road from where we were. So
Right.
technically, it was just a little more off the beaten path, but it was nicer.
Right.
So this year, like the stupid fuck I am, I think I'm gonna really impress my wife and actually get one in Montauk and spend a little extra money, and it turns out being a shit hole. And she let me know.
Oh,
That's fine.
I'm sure she did. I'm definitely sure that she reminded you that this was your idea. She had nothing to do with it, right?
Right. Yeah, she let me know all about it. So then we got there and we went out. We went out for lunch. We went to this place. It was like everything is in walking distance too from the location that I got.
Right.
Because the last time I went, I knew where I wanted to be because all the shit was right there. So I got a place that was walking distance.
Well, where did you book this hotel?
Booking.com.
And did you read the reviews?
Yeah, and they seemed fine. And to me, that I expect as much. Like I'm not like real uppity, so I'm cool. Like I don't care. None of that shit is a deal breaker to me. I'm on. When I was a kid, my parents used to take us to Wildwood, New Jersey. I don't know if you know what that is.
That's the down the shore.
It's the Jersey Shore.
Down the
And
shore.
this this room was every room we ever stayed in Wildwood, New Jersey. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? It's been rented out for the last fucking 50 years. They've done
Right.
2 renovations in 50 years. It's just,
Right.
it's all bad, but it's good because you're there. You're part of the action. You're down by the shore there.
Right.
And that's all it is to it. They have now, so we went out to lunch over there and I ordered a steak sandwich, and I don't, because I knew that I just didn't feel like I had lobster bisque soup, but I didn't want to have more seafood because I had previously thought that I was going to eat seafood for dinner.
Right.
But so I ate the steak sandwich and a lobster bisque, and I ordered a pumpkin beer. You know the ones where they put the sugary rim on it.
Yeah.
So they bring out this fucking beer. Within 5 seconds, I am swarmed by bees.
Right.
Fucking bees everywhere. And they're just coming at me, and I don't know. You know what happened to Stark and shit. I don't know if I'm allergic to bees. I was stung by a bee a long time ago, but after that I heard about, Stark got stung by a bee and he died. I've been super tripping on bees since that shit. I don't know if you feel the same way. But so I'm super like, I can't even enjoy my shit. So I take the beer and I walk across. This is outdoor dining. I walk across this little patio and I place it down in the corner, and all the bees leave me the fuck alone. Why don't they just put a beer in the corner?
Why wouldn't they advise you not to get a beer that's rimmed with sugar?
They didn't say a motherfucking thing. And then the woman comes back and she says, "How's everything?" I'm like, I'll take a water, but the bees got my beer. And she's just like, And she wasn't like, "Oh, let me get you another," because it's like 10 feet away from me. I point at it and it's being swarmed by bees. This is not a new problem. Because last year when we were in Montauk at this other little bake shop, the bake shop is completely full of bees inside.
Right.
So this is some shit that goes down out there. So she knew about it.
That's what I'm saying. When you ordered this, first of all, not even when you ordered it, why would they continue to serve it like that?
I don't guess they don't fucking care. I mean, maybe the locals aren't scared of bees like that, or
Guess not.
But I'm sure it's mostly tourism. But
Right.
But then I get the bill and I got $14 worth of bee beer that I couldn't drink because my wife got one too, and her shit got a bee in it too. The bees land on the fucking rim and then they hop in the beer. That was it. So
Wow.
I the place was called Tauk, Tauk. Fuck them. Never going back there again. If anybody wants to leave a fucking Yelp review for me, just be like, I came in there, I ordered a lot of food, I got $100 bill, and I got 2 beers I couldn't drink.
How was the steak sandwich?
Average? It was okay. Not bad,
It was
not good.
mediocre.
It was okay. I mean, I was hungry because I had driven 3 hours out there, so.
Right.
But it wasn't. It wasn't bad. Like I should have ordered maybe a fish sandwich or something. I don't know. Danielle got this tuna steak sandwich. It looked good, but I don't know, man.
A seared tuna steak.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. It was good.
Nice.
She said it was good. So, but I'm just butthurt about the beers, you know.
Yeah.
So then we went to at nighttime. We went to the premier restaurant spot in Montauk, which is Gurney's.
Okay.
And that's where I got the Wagyu. How do you properly say that?
Wagyu.
I got the Wagyu fucking steak. That was
Right.
that was nice. I got the only thing about that is now they bring you out this the steak was a decent size, but they gave me literally fucking 3 fingerling potatoes cut in half in some little sauce that they made. and like I think a carrot.
But that's what I'm saying. When you go to those high-end restaurants, that's what you pay for. You pay for the artistry, not for the quantity, but the artistry and the magic.
Right. Just uppity shit, bro.
Yeah,
that shit was the most uppity shit.
Well, that's one of the drawbacks of having as much money as you have.
I don't have. I'm poor. I'm broke. I'm destitute.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
So
I farted.
Now here is my very good friend Phil, my partner in this podcasting thing. He wants to lie to my face and to you people's faces, because I will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a man with money. Because we both have leases coming up, right?
No, I have nothing. Broke.
We both have leases coming up that we have to give our cars back and go get new cars. So, what dealership did you and your lovely wife stop at to propose getting a lease?
Hyundai.
On the way back from you just with the lies are just gonna keep coming, is what you're saying.
We went to the Cadillac dealership.
Aha.
Just keep one thing in mind here.
A very broken, destitute place to be. But go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
So I married money, okay? My wife is rich. Okay? My wife is a world-class superstar hair doer.
Right.
Her and my sister have a salon where they do the hairs.
Right.
And she makes all the money.
Right.
I'm poor. I have nothing. I'm destitute. Can I borrow $1? With all that being said, I still have more money than my wife.
Right.
We don't need to get into that, though. But
Right.
yeah, so we went to the Cadillac dealership.
Yes.
And I'm not buying a Cadillac. I don't think so.
Why? Tell the people how you were treated in Cadillac.
Because now I've purchased 2 brand new Cadillacs. Actually, one was a pre-owned, but it was like 2 years old when I bought it.
Right.
And the other one was brand new. And I had purchased...
Wait, the coupe was new, right?
The coupe was brand new.
Right.
And I purchased the coupe from Atlantic Cadillac when I bought it. So
Right.
on the way back from Montauk, we went to Atlantic Cadillac because I had been online checking out Cadillac ads. And more than anything, I checked their stock and they had the truck we want. So I was like, all right, let me go check these dudes out. They had an advertisement and blah, blah, blah. They advertised $469 a month. Now, I don't know if you guys know the new Cadillac XT6. It's nice. It's basically like the size of a Traverse that we have right now. So it's like a kind of mid-sized truck. It's obviously a few steps down from an Escalade.
It's basically the Traverse all dressed up. That's basically what it is. The
Right.
Cadillac version of it.
It's the Cadillac of Traverses. So they're advertising $469 a month with like $3,000 out of pocket and like taxes and shit like that. So I'm like, we go over there and I'm like, so Danielle's like, if I like it, because she's gonna drive this car mainly. I have my truck and shit. I only drive when we have to go somewhere in her car, so I'm gonna be driving too. So I want it to be something I like, and I like it. So we go there. She likes it. The guy's like, let me see your license. We're gonna go on a test ride. And then as we're walking out to the test ride vehicle, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys know right now. I don't want to waste any of your time. but you guys came in off the ad. I don't see this truck going for the ad price. I'm like, why? I'm like, why? I'm like, okay, so I have the ad on my phone. I pull it up, and it goes, I believe the base model is like 58 or some shit. And it has to be like 58,325, the exact price. He's like, this is 58,397. I'm like, okay, all right, so I'll make up for that $13 a month if you want, or whatever. Like, if it's gonna be $3 more a month, whatever the fuck. He's like, no, I can't lease the truck unless it's the exact sticker price because it throws off all the numbers. I'm like, okay, but I just said I'll be willing to pay more. And then he goes, oh, well, also, you need to have A1 credit. I'm like, we got that. Don't worry about it. My wife's got fucking perfect credit. But then he's like, you also need to have these deductions, returning customer. I'm like, well, this says, Chevy and Cadillac are basically the same shit. Okay, so we have that. He's like, oh, well, are you a first responder? And I'm like, well, I work for transit. He's like, oh, that actually, I think that might be counted. He's like, but you're going to put it in her name. I'm like, yeah. So he just starts playing this whole big fucking game with me about how he could not give me the deal. Right. So I'm like, you know what, pal, I'm just going to take a walk. We don't even need to drive this truck. I'm like, if you want to sell it to me for exactly what it says on the paper, I'll take it right now out the door. Right. For what it says. I'm not even going to haggle nothing. Right. And then he's like, nah, well, I'm like, why don't you go get the guy that could make a decision? Like, go get me the sales manager and I'll break his balls. Right. And he's like, well, I don't think now. I'm like, all right, forget it. And I'm on my way home. I have to take a shit because we had stopped and got fucking breakfast at this place called Brownstone. And I have to take a big steamy shit.
Is that the same spot that's by me?
Yeah. We went, there's one in East Islip, West Islip. And we went there because it's right near Cadillac. And I was starving.
That place is pretty good. If you're a big fat, you would love that place.
Yeah, I got a nice egg breakfast, all that. And so I had to take a shit. While he's talking to me, my guts are bubbling. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we're not going to, I'll let you know. And then I was like, but babe, take the keys, go and wait in the truck. I went inside and proceeded to take the paint off the walls in this fucking bathroom. I was like, I ain't come here for nothing. So...
He said, and I'm going to leave you with something.
Oh, dude, I walked back through that fucking dealership on my way out smiling. They knew what happened. He must have went and told his fucking mans inside because, he went like, he didn't make the sale. So his sales manager was probably like, what happened? And he sees me coming out of the shit house with a smile on my face.
Right.
So,
right.
We didn't get that truck. And now she's looking at 2021 Traverses. She don't know what the fuck she wants.
Right.
I can't help her. When she figures it out, I'll go.
I just mainly did that to show the listeners that, when you talk this destitute talk, that's what it is, all talk. You know what I'm saying?
It's not all talk. I'm broke. I have nothing. Why would I want people to think I have money? That is the worst thing you could do. You know who wants people to think they have money? People who have no money.
Right. Absolutely.
And I have none. I'm broke. Poor. I'm doing bad. I really am doing bad. If anybody, I'm going to start a GoFundMe. If anybody could help fund my pancake addiction, please help me.
Wait, I'm poor. Brownstone, what did you have? You just had a simple egg breakfast? That's it?
No, I got it was scrambled eggs, bacon, sausage, home fries, toast, and like 3 little ass pancakes that I didn't even really eat.
Really?
And I didn't really eat all the toast either. I was trying to stay carb friendly, because I got a little problem with my weight.
Yeah, and the sugars. And the sugars.
I didn't eat no syrup or anything like that. I had a coffee because they called Brownstone coffee. I'm like, let me see what this is all about.
The coffee is pretty good too. Hey,
it was all right.
What's your favorite breakfast establishment?
Breakfast establishment?
Yeah. Because, there's some people that are very, real Cracker Barrel people. Some people, IHOP is I can take IHOP or leave it. I'm always good. I'm always down to try a good diner. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what. I mean, for a long time, my favorite breakfast, if we're not talking sit down, My favorite breakfast establishment was A&S Bagels on Hempstead Turnpike
Okay.
because of a few reasons. Their bagels at one point were bar none. They were the best ever.
Right.
Now though, and I want to shout out my homie Peru.
Okay.
This dude one day, a couple months back, I
Mhm.
guess like right before we weren't wearing masks yet. So right before the whole shit, I walked into this bagel store on Nassau Boulevard because they just popped up like last year. I'm like, let me check these motherfuckers out.
Right.
And the dude behind the counter recognized me. He was like, "Yo, you that dude Coast on that joint with Nems?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's
Right.
me."
Right.
So I had a friend over there. So I stopped going to A&S and I started fucking with Ernie over there. That's his real name, Ernie. But he makes beats and does hip hop shit too. So we clicked up and I'm cool as fuck with him. So I go check him every once in a while.
Mhm.
And the bagels at this spot are so much better than A&S bagels. So
Really?
much fucking.
Really?
This is my bro. This is my new fucking spot. I haven't gone to A&S since, and
It's that.
you know,
It's that good.
yo, dude, these bagels are banging. Next time you come over here, you gotta go over there and get. I'll bring
Where
you
is
over
it?
there.
Where's it at on Nassau Boulevard?
It's cross Hempstead Turnpike, and it's about maybe a mile and a half up on the left hand side. It's in a little strip of stores
What's
up
it
there.
called?
Something Brothers, Three Brothers. I think so. Yeah, something about brothers.
Because
I don't know.
we listen. Well, Long Island is the land of the bagel. You know.
It is, and I was a big fan of bagels. Still am, even though I shouldn't eat them.
Right.
And they have the best bagels on Long Island.
Because that's a big bold statement. Because we have, excuse me. There's in proximity to me. There's 3 bagel places, but the one place is right. It's right next door to Brownstone. It's called
I know what you're talking about.
the Better Bagel
You,
in that strip.
yeah, I used to know a chick that worked over there.
Okay.
She worked at that bagel store,
Right.
and so I've eaten quite a bit of those bagels. It was fucking Buttertones' baby mother worked there
Oh.
back in the day, and we used to go in there all the time. But yeah, they're good bagels.
So
but
you're trying to say that this place you're talking about has better bagels than them?
better bagels. A&S was the king of bagels on Long Island for a long time, and they got
Right.
better bagels than A&S bagels.
Wow. Yeah, I got it.
So,
What's your bagel?
it's
What's your bagel of choice?
egg everything.
They're very good. Very good.
You know
Because
how you know these bagels are good bagels?
Wow.
Like my wife grew up in Franklin Square. Okay, so
Right.
A&S bagels. If you're from Franklin Square,
Right.
A&S bagels. People came from far and wide to go to A&S. Everybody I knew on Long Island knew A&S because they were open all night.
Right.
And don't get it fucked up. If I am in a pinch at 3 a.m., I will go to A&S bagels and get a sandwich, because they'll make a sandwich and chips and sodas and drinks and all kind
Right.
of shit. They're open all night.
Right.
So that's the good thing.
And those bagels are fresh all night?
Yo, but that's the shit I don't understand. Like sometimes I'll be in A&S bagels and the bagels aren't as fresh. They bake them there. They bake and provide for other places. And the bagels, I've never gotten a bagel that was hard or stale out of there.
Right.
But when you get the bagel that you could tell came right out the fucking oven,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
that don't always happen. I guess because they got so much production going on in the back, they fill up the shit at night
Well,
and then
that's
the
the
doors
reason why
open.
Better Bagel gets a lot of clientele, because sometimes you get those things right out of the oven. Them things are still warm. You don't even have to toast them. They cut them, and the butter or the cream cheese just melts right on the thing because it's
That's
still
what
warm.
you want, yo. And don't get me fucked up. Like most of the time, A&S on the weekend, they're filling them bins up and shit, and you're getting them fresh. And
Right.
they're not bad. They're not bad. I'm not trying to shit on A&S, but they're not. This new spot that I go to, I like them better. I don't know. The bagels sort of like have a different texture to them, and they're like bigger, and
Right.
I don't know. But like I said,
What
I
kind
was
of
trying
spread?
to.
What kind of spread do you put on it?
I put bacon and egg and cheese on my bagels. That's how I spend. I've had it with cream cheese before. They're not bad. I like, if I'm being a real fat fuck, I'll butter it with butter and put cream cheese on it.
Oh.
I'll give it a skim of butter and then a nice smear of cream cheese.
Ay.
I haven't done that in a while.
I'm sure when Big Chief Smash hears this, he's gonna be so proud. You know?
Well, cream cheese is good if you're not putting a bacon, egg, and cheese on it. I mean, he said it to me yesterday on Facebook. He's like, don't knock it till you try it. Or it might be the day, I don't remember if it was yesterday, the day before. He started talking, tagged us in something.
Yeah,
And I've never tried that.
he said he wants you, me, Sean, and himself to have a cooking show.
It would be entertaining if we could just run it, because Sean would just be sitting there smoking cigarettes and eating, and I would just kind of be
beers and drinking beers.
drinking beers. I'd sort of be sitting there trying to eat shit as it came out too. So you guys would be cooking and I'd be eating.
Yes, we would call it the Big Fat Show.
I'm totally down to do this. Let's do it.
The Big Fat Show.
I mean, the only thing we'd have to figure out is mic. We just run a bunch of GoPros and mic everybody up, and that's it.
Right. I told you we got that test kitchen on 110 by me, right there.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
And I was telling you I wanted to shoot in there. I wanted to shoot a pilot in there. You know.
I remember, and then that fell apart, and you never did it.
And then the Prime Podcast was born. You see what I'm saying?
Boom. So maybe we should once a month do a cooking show.
There you go. Now, what we should do is when we drop this episode, put a poll and ask the people if the people would like to see us form the Big Fat Show.
Of course they would. What are you talking about?
We just want to get their information.
I think there should be one rule here.
What's
that?
And
I'm probably the only one that'll go for it because I have no shame. I don't think any of us should be allowed to wear shirts.
Yeah, well, I'm going to wear a shirt.
Yeah, see, because, listen, man, you fat guys, I don't know if it's because I'm shaped better than all fucking three of you fat fucks.
Yeah.
But I only have a fat stomach, really.
Right.
Especially if I'm standing up.
Right.
But, I'm not ashamed of my body. You need to be body positive and proud.
Not ashamed of my body. It's just that my body is not for the masses. You see what I'm saying?
It is, though. We'll go viral.
Here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. I'm a type of person that I feel like if I was to start showing off my body, then I would have to, explain to my wife why all this fan mail is at our home. You know what I'm saying? And why all these women are beating down my door to try to be with me. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to interrupt my marriage. I have a lovely marriage, a lovely family, lovely home, and I don't want to do things like that. You know what I'm saying?
The real reason I make this request is not to see you or Jay's tits, but for the world, to see what a fat fuck Sean is. Because at 6'5", 300 pounds, he's able to hide a fair amount of his fatness. But he swears to God that he's in better shape than me. And any day of the week, I will take my shirt off and stand next to him.
Do you swim with the shirt?
Hell the fuck no. I barely wear a shirt. You're lucky I put a shirt on when you come over. I usually have no shirt.
But listen to me. That is the testament to know when you're fat. If you see a guy with a shirt on when he's swimming, it's a fat guy. Most fat guys.
Yeah, but it's who are you fucking kidding? Because then you're just fat the color of your shirt, because that shit sticks to you. The fuck?
Oh, man.
It's not like you're hiding anything. What the fuck? I never wear a shirt in the summer.
I have a dedicated Land's End swim shirt.
Of course you do. I have a dedicated Fat's End fat shirt that I wear. It's just my tits.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I realize that I'm a hefty gentleman. So I wear a shirt that matches my trunks. You know what I mean? And I'm not a big I like swimming in the pool. I'm not a big beach water guy. Are you a big beach water guy?
Not in New York, but when I go out of state or country like Florida, or one of the various vacation islands that I've been to, aside from Thailand, which is a fucking cesspool.
Right.
Well, that's not true, because if you go down, you cannot swim in the water in Bangkok or Laos or in between Laos and Thailand. We took a boat. And the water looks and smells like straight up sewage.
Right.
But if you go down to, I think it's Chiang Mai, one of the last places where it's beautiful. The water's like crystal clear. So,
Right.
but you're all the way out in the water out there. Like, it's where that movie, the movie about remember a few years ago that shit happened in Thailand where the fucking, what is that thing called with the water comes on the land? Tsunami.
Tsunami, yeah.
Yeah, this is where it was based off of this place. So if you watch that movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's beautiful.
But this is what the thing is though. My thing is not about the crispness of the water. It's what's in the water.
Well, that's a major concern of mine everywhere. I mean, my whole thing is if I'm like standing in it and it's like waist high and I'm above the water and I can see what the fuck is going on for miles, like I'm cool.
Right.
And even though I know them motherfuckers can creep up on you and bite one of your legs off.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. And when we was in the Bahamas last year, they all went to feed the fucking dolphins and shit.
Right.
And like they make this little area where you could feed the dolphins, right?
Right.
But it's like netted off from the ocean or the sea, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Right. And if you were a shark, you can get your ass in there. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. If I was a crafty ass shark, I would be able to get in there.
Well, I told you when we went to the Cayman Islands, right? We were feeding the stingray. Right. So if the guy obviously he told us this when we were coming back from the excursion, but he's like, if you looked from an aerial view, because they parked the boats in a circle and they backed them in. So all of the engines they nose them in. So all of the engines are faced out, right? And so they're in a circle, and you're in the middle of the circle. It's like a sandbar in the middle of the ocean. So you know what a sandbar is. It's like
it's raised up.
It's raised up. So the sandbar is like in the middle of the ocean. The boats are parked in a circle. Everybody that's feeding all of the people, the tourists are feeding the stingray. Stingray, they say you can see the stingray swimming amongst the people, right? Then the people are in the middle of the boats. And on the outer rim of that, you have all of the sharks patrolling because they feed on the stingrays, right? So basically, they put the motors out and they leave the motors running because the sharks are afraid of the engines. So that's what keeps the sharks at bay. But I was like, had I known that, I would have been on the boat watching everyone because I'm like, nah, I don't do that. I don't do the wild animal thing in the water. Nah. Because that's not... Listen, I would rather try to take on something on land than to take on... I'm not as expert of a swimmer as I am a runner. You understand what I'm saying?
Even just think about it. It's like they say the sharks don't like the engine, right?
Right.
Let me hear that motherfucking shark tell me you don't fuck with the engine. Because you get a rogue shark that's like, I know, that's an engine. I'm going to swim right past it and go eat these motherfuckers' legs.
That's
fuck
right.
That.
That's right. And I've been eating stingray all my life. I want to try a light today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's my thing. That's why I'm not like my family. They love to go to the beach. They love to slosh around in the water, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't do that. I'll swim in a pool. You know.
Yeah, I hear you. My chair's all fucking stuck in a bad position here.
Why is that?
Because the table, I told you I had to get a new fucking computer. Yeah. So I moved the desk back a little bit, and when I pulled my chair in here, I didn't give myself enough room.
Right.
And now I'm like pinned in between the wall and the fucking mixer desk, which I'm going to get rid of this giant mixer in front of me because I don't use it.
Right.
I use this tiny little Zoom. So.
Well, I mean, for aesthetics, it looks good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes. It's like, you know, who gives a fuck, though?
Right.
Who gives a fuck? I don't fucking care.
Well, how did you feel about the vice presidential debate?
The vice presidential debate. Oh, the fly. Oh, my God, a fly. Yay. How did I feel? I mean, fucking dude. I don't know. They like completely lost me. Like when I say they, I mean America.
Right.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't fucking believe a word that anybody says, including candidates of presidential, vice or regular. I just
I
don't.
was I was
Don't
having a
care.
conversation with you earlier, and I was like, the lunacy of people is so funny. Uh, a Trump supporter was was saying that I was being anti-union for uh, shopping at Walmart,
Uh,
right? But uh, I was like, well, the president really has no use for unions, though. So if you support the president, that's kind of anti-union as well, don't you think?
I mean, he's making an awfully big push on unions this presidential campaign. Have you noticed?
No, I haven't. What is his
He's like exclusively speaking to fucking unions.
to labor?
Yeah,
Oh my
like
god!
all of his fucking shit in most of these like states where fracking and oil shit goes down.
Right,
He
right.
goes to he like goes before the unions and shit. I don't know if this is a tactical move or if he just wants to let people know that their jobs will be safe because he's not going to get rid of fracking and Biden wants to.
Yeah, but this is
In these,
the problem is though. It's like this is what politics is though. It's like just say enough to get yourself in because the guy has been anti-union his whole entire time. His, I'm talking about before politics. You know, so
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I see. This is the thing. Like, I don't. I know nothing of Donald Trump's politics. Now I know about his business,
that's what
which
I'm saying.
was
In business, the guy was not he was not pro-union in business. That's what I'm
nah.
saying.
He was. It seemed like he was like pro money,
That's what I'm saying.
and the unions get in your pocket
And
and
the
shit.
unions
But
get in your pocket and they get in the way and they drive up cost and everything else like that. So I'm saying, how do you now go like how do you now just switch to like hit the light switch and now you're pro union?
I mean, since his first term, he was on some union shit though, because Obama wanted to fucking get rid of fracking and close all of these different unions down
Right,
that did that shit, and Trump brought the shit back heavy. So
right,
I mean, again, the politics in New York, the shit
hmm
that we give a shit about,
right.
is different than the rest of the world. I
Yeah,
feel
but
like we,
I went to a shop steward class and I think the I think they said it's something low. It's like 27% of the workforce in this country is union, right? And
right,
of the 20%, 27% of the workforce that is union, like 40 something percent of that percentage is in New York. And then
right. That's
other
what I
you
said.
understand what I'm saying? So it's like we see things way differently than the rest of the country sees things. You
I
get what I'm
do.
trying to say?
I'm agreeing with you. And listen, I'm going through an experience right now where I'm seeing firsthand,
Hmm.
like what union means and shit. Like, I'm not trying to shit on our union,
Hmm.
but like, what is a union supposed to do? They're supposed to fight for you, right?
Right.
You're supposed to.
It basically is a human rights organization. So basically everything that a union is about human rights. Everything is human rights with a
All
union.
right, so then like you know where I'm going on almost a year where I got injured at work,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
I haven't gotten fucking paid yet, guy.
Right.
Like I haven't gotten paid
Right.
to fucking like I got injured at work and I have been left to fend for my fucking self. Now
Hmm.
I'm not anti-union because of like I'm not anti-union at all. I feel like it's important because they mediate shit between people on the job. Like while like when I'm on the job
Right.
and shit, like where I'm at work, I understand the value of it.
Right.
But outside of there, it's like you're on your own. So I understand where other places may have a different, feeling about union and shit like that, like at Walmart and shit. Like I don't know. Like we have big union in New York. A lot of these other places don't have it like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like a business almost. Well, it is.
Yeah, but see, the problem. The real problem is that with any type of situation like that, with any situation like that, there's always room for like misuse of things. You know what I'm saying? So if you take two different people that are served with the same contract, one can use use the contractual language for good, and the other one can find all kind of loopholes to just be a scumbag. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, but that's what they do every chance they get. No, like when those. That's why those loopholes exist. That's why people are bent out of shape about Donald Trump's tax returns. Who wrote the loopholes, man? It's to favor big bank, not little bank.
right.
So
Well, see, that's the thing. Like even Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is a funny dude, man, but prolific at the same time. When he was like, I see all of these poor white people from Middle America, and they're like, Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, and he's like, he's really not working for you. He's working for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the money to enjoy a Trump presidency. You don't. And that's the thing. It's like this country is so caught up on race right now that people don't realize it's not about race. It's about social class. It's about where you stand. It's about, are you lower class, upper lower class, lower middle class, middle class, upper middle class. It's like, where are you? Where are you in the grand scheme of things? Like I was just last night, we were talking about, we were at work and we were talking about like the percentage, like if you look up the percentage of people and savings, and it was like, it's like 32% of people they have no savings, right? Then it's like another 21% of people have between $500 and $1,000. Then like another like low percent, like maybe 7% or 8% of people have like between $1,000 and $5,000, right? It was
right.
just saying that I'm just paraphrasing, but it's small percentages. It was saying that the percentage of people that have over $50,000 in the bank right now is like 2% of people. So if you find yourself having that much money as like a regular working class person, you're like in the upper 2% of middle class people.
Not me. I'm destitute. I have nothing.
No, but I'm just saying
I'm
that
poor. I'm poor.
that's what it is though. Like there's no
I get it. You know why that is though, and this is the thing though about that. Because are these numbers across the board or are they regional?
No, it's across the board, like across the country. If you put the population of, because they're not doing like lower income people. They're talking about middle class, working class people, not people that are making seven figures. People that are within what is the range of middle class, high five figures, low six figures of income.
Well, I mean, it is because I can only speak for, where we live. It's very expensive to live.
Right.
Everybody lives way beyond their means. And It's like, for what though? And I constantly have these conversations with my wife, like even in the conversation of this car shit, right? My wife wants to buy a bigger house, right? Okay. Right. So I have a bunch of money that I hide and pretend I have none of.
Right.
And she has a little bit of money.
Right.
And now when we talk about leasing a car, right? We talk about buying this big house within the next few years. And then we talk about, okay, my lease is up. So what I said, and I broke it down for her I made her take a calculator out and do this math. Like, you're going to lease this car. You're going to end up buying all of the fucking depreciation of the car. and then they're going to take the car back after you pay them all this depreciation. Then they're going to sell the car for what it's worth. They're going to make out like outstanding on they're not going to lose a dime on the fucking deal because you're going to pay for all of it.
Right.
Or what you could do is take what you would spend on that lease. Say you spend $18,000, $20,000 over 3 years to lease a car. Go buy a $20,000 car that's got some fucking bones to it, that's not a piece of shit. Drive it for 3 years. Save the difference of money that you would be spending on your increased insurance and your increased car note, and then put that money away. And then at the end of 3 years, if you bought a $20,000 car, most likely you'll still have like a $10,000, $12,000 car. You could sell the $12,000 car, get your 12 grand back, and you just saved half the car payment, the insurance, and you drove a car for fucking 8 grand for 3 years.
Right.
Does that now make, like, especially when you're talking about money, like in terms of money, that makes more sense when you're trying to put money away than leasing a fucking $20,000 car and being left with nothing at the end.
Right.
And but I tried to explain this to the person that wants a bigger house, and it's like, but I need a new car because this is the way. And I love a new car, bro. You always seen me with a new car, but after the Subaru, I shouldn't even have bought the Infiniti.
Right.
I was just in a jam, and I wasn't in the same jam. When I got the fuck out of it, I'm like, why am I doing this? When you see that you're just purchasing depreciation over a fucking period of time,
right,
and you're left with nothing.
Right.
What did you rented a fucking car for 20 grand?
Right. Basically.
It don't make any fucking sense financially. So if you're in a position to do that, don't do it.
The thing about it is that look at what media tells us. Look at what media says. Media says you have to have this. You have to have that. You have
they
to.
They just suggest that you don't have. They're not saying you must.
All right, but when you went and got your phone, my phone, I got a brand new iPhone. My iPhone costs $300. Yours costs $1,200. You know what I'm saying?
$1,400. But okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, $1,400. But at the end of the day, what was the difference of you getting a $1,400 phone as opposed to getting a $300 phone?
It is no different. The thing about the phones is now, like they are also a depreciating asset, but that's what
I mean. It's a depreciating asset.
Yeah, but this is the thing about it is that $1,400 phone will still be worth $800 when I'm done using it.
Okay.
So I used it maybe I'll use it for a year and a half, 2 years, and re-up on the new model. And then, to me, it's like I do a lot of...
They're going to give you $800 when you take that phone back.
They're not going to give me $800. I'm going to go to eBay or fucking OfferUp and sell it. Like, that's...
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Every time, like, I held on to the iPhone 10 I had the maxed out one with all the memory and shit, and I sold it for fucking $600. At the time, I only bought it for like, I think that one was only like $999. So right. You're talking about a depreciation of $300, and I used it for all that time. And I like to have the max model because I do all this little video shit, and I like to be able to fucking, take nice pictures and video on the run and shit. It's worth it for me. See, is it a definite necessity? No, but it's something that, like, I view things a little different in that regard. Like, I use it every day, all day. Right. So if I lose $600 on the thing and I used it for 2 years,
right,
$600 well spent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
now look at this. And this is a thing. Like, even my wife and I were discussing it. Whenever people see the clips that go up on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, or whatever, you're the one doing those clips, not me. You.
On my phone.
Yes, on your phone.
You know what I'm saying?
No, the reason why I'm pointing it out is this. The reason why I even brought up how much I paid for my phone is, would it be responsible of me, who basically surfs the web, talks and texts, to spend $1,400 on a phone?
It's not really responsibility. It wouldn't be practical. If you're not going to learn to do any of this shit, then it's...
I don't do any of that. So I don't even need that. It's just it's just to have it, to say that I have it. You
I
know,
mean, the thing about it is that phone is probably capable of doing all the same shit.
it
Besides,
is. It's the same chip.
obviously,
It's the same chip inside of my phone that it is yours. But
was it the camera and shit different?
it's just the camera's different. It's the same capabilities. It's just the camera is different, and I don't have my screen resolution is not as sharp as yours. That's it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I mean, I'm just into all the tech shit, man. And then I got fucking now I got all this computer shit, like, and I still do the convenience of being able to do it on my phone while my daughter's watching Baby Shark on the couch and shit. Is like I can't always get down here to do work, so that's why
But that's
it's
that's that's what I'm saying. It's the same. It's the same thing. Behind the scenes, people. Well, they heard you say that you went and got another computer, but behind the scenes, a lot of the stuff that we're doing is like you're the sensei and I'm the pupil. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm still not gonna go out and buy everything that you have because you've been doing this for umpteen years. I'm trying to get my feet wet into it. So I'm about to buy another computer, but I'm not gonna go out and spend $2,500 on a computer. I'm not gonna do that because I'm not at that level yet to where I have to do that. You're editing movies, like real life movies. I'm not doing that. I'm doing little stuff here and there. So it's like the practicality of it. What I see was like how when people look at like money, there's a guy, this Asian guy on TikTok, and he was saying that what people need to look at is if you're going to be spending money on things like if you're like sneakers or you like going out or you like buying tech stuff and everything else, the disciplined way to look at it is you should only be spending 10% of your income on things like self gratification. So if you make 4,000 a month, you should only be able to spend $400 on yourself.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense, especially if you have a goal in mind that you're trying to accomplish. I know a ton of people that we worked with that are like, "Oh, I
Mhm.
want a house. I don't want to live at
Right,
home," or they're like guys that are younger. They just
right,
came on a job, but then they
right,
pull up in some new fly shit. It's like you're never gonna get there. Especially
well,
like I always had some other shit going on where I figured out how to make more money. If
right,
you just do one thing and you have no money,
right,
just that income, you're never gonna get ahead of the game. Like it's
right,
it's not it's not designed that way. It's
right.
hard to do.
Yeah, but that's
So
what I'm saying. It's like, again, if you have that, you should now look at your income and say, all right, this is how much comes in every single month. I should only spend within the confines of this 10% for self gratification. Everything else should be on the maintenance and upkeep of my life. And then a lot of times we don't find the ways that we should like tighten the belt. You know what I mean?
nah, Americans don't do that shit.
Well, yeah, but then that's why we find ourselves in a mountain of debt. That's why people listen. You and I talked about the credit card thing before. I'm like, yo, I most of my credit cards on zero balance, right? A couple of them I keep a little balance on them. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy because I don't want to drop my score, but I keep a little revolving thing going on. You know what I mean? I got my little everyday one that I do my gas and my coffee with, and then I pay it every week and everything else like that. But again, a lot of people don't realize how to even use credit, how to utilize credit to where it's not hurting them. Like if they give you a $10,000 limit and you go over $3,000, that's negative. Now most people look at it like, oh well, I got $7,000 more to use, but the credit companies and the bureaus they look at that as negative. They look at it as you're not being responsible with the amount of money that they give you. It's like a trick
That
bag.
shit is like bullshit, bro. Cause at one point I had terrible credit. Cause when I was young, they gave me credit cards and I ran them shits up and didn't pay them and all
Right,
kind of
right,
shit. And then I got divorced. It was like this whole big
right.
cycle.
Hmm.
And then I just straightened my shit out. I came back. I got a bunch of credit. I got approved for cards, and I just
Hmm.
didn't use them. And then
Right.
I watched my score go down. And these motherfuckers was like, the reason was because non-activity of of credit accounts, no revolving accounts.
Right.
So then you got to make me go, say they approve you for 20 grand, then you got to go out and spend fucking 3 grand
Yes.
to make sure that these motherfuckers are counting you.
Yeah.
And it's like, so at all times I have to keep like, because I have like 5 different credit cards with like fucking $15,000-$20,000 fucking limits.
Right.
So I got to keep fucking 5-6 grand of outstanding credit
Right.
to have decent credit still.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Like it's in it, but it's designed that way.
That's
And to me,
it's you gotta know. See, but again, most people, if your parents don't know much about money, or your parents are struggling because they don't have the tools necessary to conquer that, then they can't teach you how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And the cycle keeps going. The cycle keeps going. If your parents live hand to mouth, they're only teaching you how to live hand to mouth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you only learn. Like I learned by messing credit up and having to dig myself out of the hole. You know what I'm saying?
it. I mean, and I had my father is a fucking cheap bastard. He knows, and not in a bad way. Like he always had money.
Right.
And I still went and fucked my shit up with him in my ear talking about you fucked your shit up. You fucking up. You fucking up. Like
Right.
there's only so much you sort of have to run through shit and learn before you realize. And now, with the credit shit, it's like I see how fast you could snap that shit back into shape now.
Yeah.
So like unless you need to use your credit for something, like I don't even give a fuck if they're gonna tell me my credit's 700 because I don't have enough revolving accounts anymore. I keep a little bit of credit out there to maintain that 700, but it's like it's so fucking dumb. It's a game you play with these motherfuckers in the banks. Like you don't need that shit until you need it, and then they look at it, and as long as you don't have derogatory shit on there. When you need to buy a house or get a mortgage or some shit, then you start fucking with your credit. Like,
yeah, but
it
that's
just
what I'm
seems
saying. There's people though that live like right up to that limit, man. It's like
some people have to, bro. They fucking get fucked up in the game.
they live right up to that limit, man. And it's like, that's a dangerous game you're playing because the moment that now you can't pay that, they got you in a hole, man. And then once you're at that limit, let's say, like you said, 20 grand, you got 20 grand. If your minimum payment is $150, how long do you think it'll be before you pay off that $20,000 at $150 a month?
That pile of shit is screaming towards your head. You have no option but to get buried in shit. That's it. Especially if you don't have the kind of income where you could, just pay that shit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you're trying to give them $150, $200 a month on 20 grand, you're going to be buried under them. And that's how the credit card companies make money. They just put it out there to you, tantalizing. Hey, spend.
That's why I don't fucking buy my coffee and gas on a credit card because you're paying fucking. Even if you pay it off, these motherfuckers got their hands in your pocket on a cup of coffee for 75 cents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this shit I keep on the card is like I won't eat the credit card.
I only did that. I'll tell you, Discover is a very good card and everything else. Like I have a Discover card, right?
Yeah.
And, again, because I don't have as much money as you do, right?
I don't have any money.
Listen, I don't have as much money as you do. When I bought my house, right? When we bought the house, it's like boom, boom, bow, down payment, closing costs, wife that wants to replace all the appliances. She wants to buy new furniture and all of this other stuff, right? So, needless to say, I went from a nice fat bank account to a very thin bank account. You know what I'm saying?
Like mine. Like my bank account.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing.
Anyhow, thin. Like how you like your eggs on the bacon, egg, and cheese? Thin. Like that.
That's right.
Right. So
delicious.
I get this Discover card, right? They approve me, right? And I get it, I activate it, I throw this card into the drawer, right? I get a letter from them a couple of years later, like basically inactivity on the account. and they decreased the limit, right?
Mhm.
So I was like, "What the hell?" And I basically got this card just as a failsafe because when you're getting into a new house, you don't even know what's going on and everything else and like that. And I'm like, listen, boiler breaks in the middle of the night. Got to go get another boiler. Got to go get this. Whatever happens,
Emergency, yeah.
emergency fund. And I hadn't replenished the dollars, the liquid money yet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, at least this credit will stave off any real emergencies. So they decreased the limit, and I was like, wow, that was stupid and whatever. So I start using the card, right? Not only with, I think it was like 8 months of me like charging like 1,000 here, 1,500 here, paying it off like the next, like right at the next, buying a couple of things for the house, things for the cars and everything else like that. Buying stuff, paying for it, buying stuff, paying for it. 8 months later, not only did they restore the actual limit that I had, but they gave me more credit on top of that.
Yeah, so they could further own a piece of your ass.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like that whole. But again, you would think that because I wasn't using it, that it wouldn't be a bad thing. But because I didn't show them a history. They basically were like, "Well, screw you. You don't need this much credit." You know what I'm saying? But then
That's right.
when I started to establish a history, they're like, "Oh, he's moving and shaking. All right, let's
Yeah,
try to get him to go buy some more stuff." You know what I'm saying?
exactly. They're like, this motherfucker's spending money. We want in. But yo, we're at an hour and 1 minute,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've got
So,
some previous
we
applications.
hope you guys didn't miss us too much. And yeah, before we go,
Ooh.
I would like for Mr. Locastro to further put some respect on my team. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Man, shut the fuck up about your Buffalo Bills.
That's right, baby.
Who
Hey,
gives a
did you
fuck?
see that whole Tennessee Titan COVID outbreak thing?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah. Well,
It's unfortunate.
uh,
But I tell you what, if Donald Trump and Chris Christie could beat the COVID virus, I'm pretty sure every Tennessee Titan will be just fine.
what
Fucking kidding me?
are you congratulating LeBron James and AD for winning the NBA championship for
Of course.
Kobe Bryant?
I'm not hating on them, of course. That's a beautiful thing, man. What would they I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't anybody want to see that happen? Especially coming off the back of this this whole Kobe shit.
Right, right, right.
Like,
So
congratulations.
shout out to LeBron and company. Congratulations for winning. And before we go, I'd like to say go Buffalo Bills. And Locastro will have to put
Yay!
some respect on y'all's name. All
All
right?
right. Go Buffalo Bills.
That's
Go
right.
fuck yourselves.
Peace.
Peace out.